Kenneth McMillan, Edward Rosenbaum, Dennis Bateman, Dickie DeCourse, Patty Ann Curtis, Rule Rice, Hillary Bacon, Bobby Brown, Carol Reese. My name is Mrs. Bacon, boys and girls. Everybody, smile.
Today, the Chimes is more than a school. We provide educational and vocational services as well as residential options for children, adults, and senior citizens. Indeed, to look at us now, you might never guess how modest and daring the first steps of that journey really were. With almost no money and few materials, many supplies were paid for out of the teachers' own pockets. But we made it happen with an abundance of hope and determination. Katherine Reno taught at the School of the Chimes from the beginning, and later served as principal.
Francis had a son who needed a school, and there didn't seem to be any place in Baltimore for him. So she determined that she would start a school herself. Although the neighbors accepted Hillary, her son, they said, no, we don't want a school for the retarded in our neighborhood. And that was the answer she got everywhere she went. And finally, the rector of our church offered her the use of two of their nice, great big Sunday school rooms.
In 1952, the school moved to an old Victorian home in Baltimore City.
The grass and weeds were up to our shoulders, really. And it hadn't been occupied for a long, long time.
With a lot of paint and elbow grease, the parents and staff slowly transformed the house into the first permanent Chimes school. And the children loved it, as one of them tells us. February 4th, 1952. This is our first day in our new school. It is pretty, and we have two new friends, Becky and Marcia. Some things have changed. Mary Ann Marley, speech teacher at the Chimes for 37 years.
You know, now they have computers and they have materials, so many materials to choose from. But at that time, we didn't. And we had to do it all ourselves. There was only one part-time social worker, and she wasn't paid. Francis Bacon believed that each child should have a chance to be in a play because it built their self-esteem and because they saw their brothers and sisters doing it.
Some things remain the same.
Even today, when you see these limited youngsters coming into Chimes School, and then they grow through our programs, and then they can make their contribution to the community, that is a thrill for everyone. I mean, we all want acceptance and respect.
Today, the Chimes has a full range of professional resources. Whether it's in an old Victorian home or our new educational center, one thing remains the same: our commitment that every person we serve has the right to a full life. The Chimes is at work in 5 states, the District of Columbia, and Israel, providing everything from early childhood intervention to senior living services. In 1997, more than 2,000 people with disabilities or barriers to independent living are being taught, trained, or employed by the Chimes or one of its subsidiaries. Among them is Eddie Feete, a lifelong beneficiary of the Chimes services, who is employed at the Giant supermarket. Eddie's father, Ed Feete.
Eddie started at the Chimes in 1955 when he was 9 years old. I think it's just wonderful for him, and I'm very pleased. Boy, it's been a break for my wife and myself, too. He's been working at the Giant for 9.5 years, but he loves it, and they love him, too.
In 1996, Eddie received the Baltimore County Commission on Disabilities Award as Employee of the Year.
He just has a connection with all the customers and knows what to say and how to act with them. And in return, they just love him. Customers love him.
I did bagging, I did took groceries out, and I did everything.
Eddie shares an apartment with 2 roommates in a Chimes community residence. They receive staff support at night and in the morning. Eddie's caseworker, Myra Wilfong, also visits him regularly.
Eddie's very interested in the computer. He owns his own computer. Another very important thing to him is his flower garden. He likes showing his flowers off. Eddie is very independent.
The Chimes encourages not only the people we serve, but also our staff to reach for new heights. Myra, whose goal is to become an assistant director in a residential component, is participating in a pilot program to help her gain experience to do that job.
I enjoy working at the Chimes because I am encouraged to improve my skills and given opportunities for advancement.
The Chimes is growing in an economically responsible way in order to meet the needs of the people we serve and the staff who support them, both now and in the future. Volunteers fill an essential role at the Chimes. Among them is the chairman of the Chimes Board of Directors, Steve Kramer.
If I find an organization that I feel like I can give something to, if I can add something to what they're doing and be meaningful in my endeavors, and I like to get involved, and Chimes was one of those organizations, and once I got involved, I couldn't stop.
Under the leadership of Terry Allen Perl, since 1971, the Chimes continues to grow in response to the wants and needs of the people we serve. What started as a small organization has flourished into a $50 million international network of services and supports for people with barriers to independent living.
Our mission today is to be a leader in our field, supporting those who need our help with high-quality, cost-effective services and supports. We face the ongoing challenge of balancing individual needs with fiscal realities. Today, the scope of our commitment has grown, and the opportunities and challenges have expanded. As Ed grew and his needs changed, the Chimes grew in response to those changing needs. So when Ed needed a place to live, we developed residential services. When Ed needed a place to work, we developed a full array of work services. We've been true to that philosophy and our mission, as true today as we were when we started 50 years ago, when Fran Bacon believed that every child had a right to an education that would help him or her develop to his or her fullest potential.
Francis, Katherine, Mariana, Eddie, Myra, Steve, and Terry. The names may change through the years, but the commitment of the Chimes remains the same, to guide the people we serve throughout their journey, so that in another 50 years, someone else can say, "Look at us now."